Although I'd argue that democracy in Star Wars isn't perfect, it's probably a lot better than in real life. Jedi may not always be right. There may be a lot of slavery across the galaxy, but the Senate was still pretty democratical and wasn't controlled by elite groups.
But still, could conspiracy theories in Star Wars be real?
Democracy, the main thing of governance in many societies, is a recurrent theme in the Star Wars universe. From the glory days of the Galactic Republic to the rise of the New Republic, there were many challenges and vulnerabilities of democratic systems. The Galactic Republic represented the collective interest of diverse worlds. It aimed to promote peace, justice, and prosperity for all citizens. The Senate, comprising elected representatives, sought to ensure fair governance. However, inherent flaws within the Senate, such as corruption, bureaucracy, and political maneuvering, revealed the vulnerability of democratic systems to external pressures. The Clone Wars exposed the fragility of the Republic's democratic ideals. Under the influence of Palpatine, emergency powers were granted, centralizing authority and undermining the principles of checks and balances. This manipulation of fear and crisis demonstrated how a democratic system can be exploited for personal gain, leading to downfall of the Republic and the rise of the Galactic Empire. Democracy in Star Wars universe serves as a reflection of the real-world challenges and triumphs experienced by democratic societies. It showcases the vulnerability of such systems to corruption, manipulation, and the complexities of governing a diverse population. But were there big elites in the galaxy like Illuminati or something? Well, not really. Well, maybe, but since we don't really know anything about elites like that, I doubt that they existed. But why is that? Why is there no big hidden organization in Star Wars? Well, I'd say that that's because the corruption in Star Wars can't really come just from politicians. Jedi and Sith have the power in the galaxy, both political and physical, and with that I mean that they hold enormous power in combat. That's why I think that political elites that would control the Senate never developed. Well, they did, but they were under the influence of the Jedi or Sith, but that doesn't mean that criminal organizations didn't exist. Quite the opposite, the galaxy was full of drugs, slavery, and rapes. So while the core worlds in galaxy prospered, the situation in the Outer Rim territories was much worse than it ever was on Earth. Okay, this is getting confusing. Basically, elites similar to Illuminati never existed in Star Wars because democracy functioned better than it does in the real world. It wasn't perfect or anything, but although the Jedi, in my opinion, got many stuff wrong, they still hold enough of power to prevent most of the corruption. That does not mean that Senate could not be corrupted though. When senators were under the influence though, they were usually controlled by Sith. Non-criminal organization actually ever controlled the Senate. So all the criminal organizations like Exchange and the Black Sun actually had enormous power. They never had a lot of influence in the Senate. When democracy doesn't really work, usually a dictator takes over, who is almost always a Sith and rules the galaxy more or less on his own. So as far as we know, the Republic was pretty democratical and was not led by some kind of elite. Okay, that's more or less it for today. Basically, democracy in Star Wars is corrupt. Although giant elites may not really exist that would corrupt the whole Senate, there definitely were very strong illegal corporations like Black Sun or Exchange and this kind of stuff. But yeah, there wasn't really like something like Illuminati that would really control the whole Senate. Senators were sometimes under the influence, but not under the influence of organization, but usually under the influence of a dictator or something similar. So yeah, this is kind of political video and it's kind of weird, but I just wanted to make it because democracy functions a little bit different in Star Wars than it does in real life. But yeah, basically thanks Jedi or something.
Take a seat.
So yeah, Illuminati do not exist in Star Wars. Great. Okay, let me know in the comments if you believe in Star Wars Illuminati. See you in the next video and subscribe.